So I was listening to 104.1 and the Roses segment came on, and it brought back a really bad flashback. This man was on the radio. He knew the whole Roses thing trick already, and so he flat out called his wife out, called her a dumb bitch, and pretty much like totally humiliated and degraded her on radio to all of Houston. And all the things he was saying sounded extremely familiar, and the only reason why I say that is because that actually happened to me, and I felt so sorry for this woman because I know she probably felt like she was stuck in a relationship with an asshole, and I'm sure she loved him so much, but I mean, let's face it, we've all probably been there. If you haven't, good. But for the rest of us, it's not so good because you're stuck in a relationship that's not healthy for anybody, and I try to keep my relationship problems away from my family, but I'm sure my family all knew because they would all tell me, I need to break up with my boyfriend and things like that, and I pretended everything was okay when it really was not. And so I felt like I needed to make this video for all those girls out there, and maybe even guys out there, that, are in a relationship that they're not completely 100% happy in, because that's what's really, really important, You think you know a person, and then it turns out that you really don't. My boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend, was a licensed minister. He would travel and preach while he was cheating on me, verbally abusing me, and even physically abusing me, and so you really don't know a person, He was a minister. Everybody thought that he was an angel, and I really wanted to believe he was, and that's why I stayed with him for 4 years. And, one day I woke up and I said, you know what? No, I'm not doing this anymore, I deserve way better than what I've received, He didn't want me to join, the Cougar Dolls dance team at the University of Houston. He didn't even want me to go to the University of Houston. He didn't want me to be in a sorority. He didn't want me to do anything but what he wanted me to do. And there's no way that I'm going to ruin my future for one person, I had goals for myself. I knew I wanted to do things with my life, and I'm glad to say I've done everything that I wanted to do now. And I know I wouldn't have if I would have stayed in the relationship I was in. I'm at the University of Houston. I was a Cougar Doll. I'm in the Phi Mu sorority. I have my own car. I pay my own bills, And it's hard. Yeah, it's hard for any college student who has to, work and pretty much pay for themselves. But it's not impossible if you really want to do it. This is where I'm at now, and where is he at? I don't know. And frankly, I don't care what he's doing, I've forgiven. And I know it's hard to believe, but I've forgiven. He was not a good-hearted person. There was one point where he even tried to convince me to let him cheat on me because he claimed that this girl knew people that could get him into the music industry. He's trying to be a Christian artist, go figure. But I know he can do it. He is a very talented person. Very talented. And I know whatever he puts his mind to, he can do it. But the thing that bothered me the most was that I even went to his own family to see if they could possibly help, talk to him, guide him the right way and let him know what he was doing wasn't the right thing to do, because nothing means more to a person when their family tells them these things. His family knew what kind of person he was, and all they did was tell him You shouldn't treat her that way. And then that was it. They would pray for him. And don't get me wrong, praying for somebody is very powerful. But, I mean, if the person doesn't want to change, they're not going to change. And, you know, I pray to God that he's changed, that he's figured out how to be a good person, that he's figured out how to be a good boyfriend to somebody. You know, he's cheated on me with girls that I thought were my friends. And there you go again. You don't know somebody 100% ever, you know. But, I mean, I've forgiven those girls. And most importantly, I have forgiven him, you know. I may have not told him that I forgive him because, frankly, you know, I don't feel like there's a need to talk to him, you know. This entire time, I've not received an apology for anything, for being degraded, for being humiliated, for being verbally abused, for being physically abused, for being cheated on. You know, there was even a point where on our anniversary, it landed on a Mother's Day, and he called me at night and pretty much begged me to go meet him at the store because he said that all day, you know, he hadn't been home and he didn't have any money to buy his mom a Mother's Day gift, and he just wanted to show up home with some flowers for her. So I said, okay, you know, his mom's a good person, you know, okay, you know, every mother deserves something for Mother's Day. So I drove, met him, and used my own money to go and buy these flowers for his mom. I just went into the store and bought whatever flowers, you know, carnations. So I went back out the store and he looked at me and said, "Do you think you can go inside and exchange them for roses?" And I said, "Why?" He said, well, his mom's favorite flowers were roses and he just really wanted to give something meaningful to her. So I didn't think anything of it. I said, okay. I went inside and I exchanged them for roses. So later on social media, I saw this girl again who was my friend with the exact same flowers as I had bought for Joseph's mom. Exact same ones. I knew which flowers I bought, you know. So I asked him about it and I said, why does so-and-so, I'm not mentioning names, have the exact same flowers that I bought for your mom? He says, oh, it may be a coincidence. Chances of that being a coincidence, slim. Ended up finding out that from her, because I had asked her where she got those flowers from, and she told me, oh, so-and-so gave them to me. And I told her the truth. I said, well, those flowers actually came from me and my money. I bought those flowers. Congratulations for those flowers. You know, congratulations, you know, for your achievement. But unfortunately, those flowers were meant for Joseph's mom because that's what he told me that he needed them for. So you can imagine how I felt, my boyfriend using me to go and use my money and buy flowers for another girl. And you know what? I still stayed with him. I really thought that he could change. I thought that he was my soulmate. I loved him. But 4 years later, I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't take not trusting him. I couldn't take the words in my head every single day. I couldn't take it, any of it anymore. You know, I wanted to do things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be an independent woman who has a career in education, you know, who can take care of herself and buy herself whatever she wants. Do the things that I want to do, you know, while I'm in college. You only get this chance once, you know? And I don't regret anything that I've done. It's made me into who I am today. Without going through that, I wouldn't know what to look for in a guy. I wouldn't know how high to raise my standards, and I wouldn't have so much respect for myself as I do now. You know, I just really hope that this message gets to that one girl out there who's in a situation, maybe not like mine, but similar, who's trying to make it work with a guy that doesn't want it, you know? And it's hard to hear, but a relationship will happen if two people want it, not just one person. One person can't just want the relationship. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. There's many other people who've been through the things that you've been through. And I know it's hard. And I know sometimes you don't want to go to your family because you just don't want your family to see you in a situation like that. But reach out to people. People are the best therapy. You know, sometimes all we need is just someone to talk to. And I unfortunately did not have someone to talk to during my entire time in my relationship, which is why I started blogging during about the second year of my relationship. And I still have all those blogs on my blog on the internet. I don't make it public to anybody, but I have it still. Just a reminder of never to go back. I don't want to go back. I don't care if he comes back and he's changed and he's a whole new person. I won't go back. I'm going forward with myself. And people only get one chance with me now. And if you screw up that chance, I'm sorry. But if you really care about somebody, you won't screw up with them. You know, there's no reason to screw up. Maybe it's made me a hard person to understand, but I understand myself. I know what I want in a guy. I know what I want for myself. And yeah, I'm not I'm not the skinniest person in the world. I'm not the prettiest person in the world. I'm not the smartest, the most talented person in the world. But I know what I want for myself, and I'm gonna do what I want with myself, you know? If I want to open up a dance studio, I'm gonna do it. If I want to, you know, just know that you're not alone. I'm gonna cut this video short, but you're not alone. And maybe I'll open up a line to where people can talk to me about their problems if they want to. You know, everything that I've been through in my life has been for a reason. I know that. And that is why I am a psychology major at the University of Houston. Because I do believe that everybody needs to be heard. Everybody just needs somebody to talk to. It's just plain and simple. You know, people need to not feel alone. You know, if you want, talk to me. But just remember, you're not alone.